Cool. Yeah, it's working. Fix the problem. So YouTube, we're good now. Now we are running on YouTube. All right, people. So as I sort of talked about for the first 5 seconds of this live stream, what we're going to be breaking down today is junk food, how to sort of factor it in, and just destigmatize the negative stigma that's attached with it. That like every time I eat something bad or at least junk food, um, that guilty feeling that comes up that makes you just fucking kind of hate yourself a little bit. um, if you get that enough, it's going to deter you from actually continuing to stay eating clean, or at least targeting that body fat goal. Because like let's keep it honest here. I mean, if you're uncomfortable or you're in like any form of like mental pain constantly over and over and over again while doing anything new, let alone a diet, it's more likely going to keep you away from actually wanting to go all the way through with it because of how bad you feel mentally and how guilty it makes you feel if you stray off a little bit. All right. So I'm just going to be honest, open, keep it a stack as usual, and break it down. Okay. Because I've had my fair share of, this guilt before too. And it's counterproductive. We want to be in control as much as possible. All right. I appreciate the follow. I appreciate the follow there. All right. So without wasting any time, we're going to dive into the podcast. But okay, before we dive in, for those new viewers on TikTok, you are welcome to drop questions and comments at any point in time throughout the live stream. However, after the recording, after I'm done recording, I'll be diving in, and we'll have some meaningful discourse. I can answer questions, things of that sort. So yeah, just letting you know when we are on the air, when we are recording, I will not be answering any questions until the end. Okay, so now, without wasting any time, we're going to dive into the podcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yo, what's good, meatheads? Hope you're having an amazing day. Welcome to another episode of the Meathead on the Mic podcast. It's your host, IFBB Pro Matt Butale, coming at you with another topic. Today, we will be talking about junk food and cravings, okay? But before I dive in, I want to let you know you're welcome to join the Meathead Monsters Club. It's a Facebook community where you can meet other meatheads online. All right. Don't forget to screenshot and share this podcast to your IG story to show support. It will go a long way for me. Thank you so much if you do that. Also, if you have any questions you'd like to ask me, or if you'd like to tune into the live recording to see exclusive behind the scenes footage, you can search for me, Matt Butale, on Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel for extra meathead content. You know it's good. All right, it's time to dive in and embrace your inner meathead. All right, let's dive into the meat and potatoes, bro. All right, so we know this already. Okay, craving foods, like craving junk foods that you know aren't good for you, make you feel guilty when you give in. So, just for example, if you are, losing fat, burning fat, and you have a goal in mind, you're doing something in order to change your physique, whether it's to put on muscle, burn fat, or do both at the same time. There's like an outline, there's like a guideline that you have to sort of follow, in order to get that desired result, right? And because it's sort of linear for most people, and not a lot of people like do that IIFYM if it fits your macros. And even if you do, you still do keep things clean most of the time. But the thing is this: the selection of food, although you're not necessarily bored of it, you just miss the foods that you crave. Like you can't not crave pizza, you can't not crave burgers, you can't not crave eating junk like chips and candy and stuff. Like you can still love what you're eating, you can still like have a good meal prep, get results and things of that sort. But after a while, it depends for everybody. For some of my clients that first joined, it's like the first 6 to 8 weeks, they're cool. And then by like a month and a half or like 2 months in, they're like, okay, like I kind of like just want a pizza, or I kind of, just want to eat a burger or two, or go out even, right? Maybe it's a date night, or you got family, you're going to go out with them, and you want to eat, right? So again, I'm aware that food isn't just food itself. It's also a social thing. Like your friends, I don't know, maybe you have a certain restaurant that you've been going to since high school with your friends, and you have high school reunions there, or like the restaurant that you went with your, fiance, right? The first few times you ever ate out, went on dates, that's your like main spot. So you try to go there once a month with them because it's a special thing. It's not just the craving of quote unquote junk food. It's just eating foods that are, we'll say, not in your guidelines when it comes to getting the specific result that you want to actually achieve with your nutrition and, of course, your training, right? So, the one thing that I really want to break down to you guys and girls is that it's not just, you guys that struggle with this. Like, I'm a pro bodybuilder, and this is something that, I wouldn't say I struggle with, but it's definitely an obstacle that I, have to face. right? Like much like you, I get cravings for food or cravings for the social surrounding that the food or the restaurant would provide, if that makes sense. Especially coming out of COVID, you know, not being able to spend time with your family, not being able to spend time with your friends at restaurants. It's definitely, you know what I mean? It's definitely something that like mentally you feel influenced to do because you haven't done it in so long, but then you can also feel guilty for falling off of track. So I just want to let you know that I struggled with this as well, and some of my best clients did as well. And honestly, I'm going to help you break down what you need to sort of think about when it comes to this sort of approach, because again, it's not like you should never eat junk food again or you should never go out to a restaurant again just because you're on a diet. That's insane, and that's going to keep you, at least in my opinion, further away from actually succeeding, on a on a longevity standpoint, simply because it's like not sustainable. If you look, if you tell yourself you're never gonna go out and eat out again, or never have a pizza again, or like a burger again, anything of the sort, your days are numbered. You're most likely going to quit your diet before you even get half the results that you want from it, simply because you're too strict, right? And we're going to be talking about sort of my mindset behind, at least where my philosophy lies when it comes to strictness and meal selections, things of that sort, in a little bit. All right. And yes, guys and girls that are watching the live stream, keep the questions in the comments coming. I will be looking at them. So stick around. Once we're off the air, I'll be diving into those questions. So don't hesitate to drop those questions. All right. Okay. So this is what we want to talk about. Instead of developing these cravings and feeling guilty about, giving into them afterwards, because it's like inevitable, like you're gonna fucking eat a burger again in your life, right? What are some things that we could do so that junk food doesn't hold us back, like the social setting of it, or at least even the taste? Like, what are some things that we could do to keep ourselves in control? Okay, is there a way to control the craving? Keyword control. And long story short, the answer is yes. And I'll be sharing these answers with you. All right. So they're going to seem very vanilla off the top, but I really want you to like just sit with these thoughts, because most solutions to all of these, we'll say, struggles are very simple and they're very practical, right? But that's the one side of it. The other side is that most people aren't paying attention to the fact that it's not like you're supposed to completely cancel eating junk food. Like, you're not supposed to. Like, if you could do it, I'm sure you would, but you can't, so you won't, right? Because if you say you're gonna cancel eating fucking burgers, hot dogs, literally cake, pies, all that stuff, your days are numbered. You're never actually going to, live with that nutrition protocol, that meal plan, because it's not sustainable. Like, what if I had to tell you you can only eat these 5 foods for the rest of your life? You're either not gonna enjoy what you're eating every single day and be miserable because of that, or you're not going to enjoy what you're eating every single day, and you're going to feel even more miserable when you eat something that's not on that plan. So why not incorporate it? It's called control. Okay, not elimination, but control. So the first thing that we want to talk about today when it comes to keeping your food cravings under control, whether it's a social craving or whether it's a genuine craving for the food, like the actual grease and stuff like that. Number one, and this is something that is, as I said, very, very simple, but a lot of people overlook it. Season your foods the way you actually love to have them seasoned. So use seasonings that you love. Use any preparation method for your meat, specifically your rice, even, that you actually really like. So you look forward to eating your meals. I've seen this like time and time again, like countlessly, where especially with the new clients that would join the Natural Nomad Academy, they would join and they would have these, nutrition protocols that they'll follow that are custom made. And again, it's all custom because I'm not going to feed you food you don't actually like to fucking eat. Otherwise, again, your days are numbered. They prep these meals, but end up hating them in like 2 to 3 weeks. Even I'm like, what's going on? And then they send me a picture of the meals. I'm like, fuck, of course. If I was eating that, I would hate it too, because they didn't season it, or they didn't season it with the foods or with the flavors that they actually liked. And that's a huge, huge, huge part of having a successful nutrition protocol. You've got to actually enjoy what you're eating, so that your mind isn't always straight away thinking, oh, I got to eat this fucking meal right now. This, I don't like this shit. I got, like, it takes your mind from there to, I can't wait to eat and fuel my body with this fuel, because you actually enjoy the taste of it, the way that it's prepared, right? For the rice, for the chicken, for the fish, for the beef, for anything, literally season the foods that you actually season the food the way you actually want to eat it. Don't just cut yourself short on seasonings because you think that seasonings are going to add extra calories and this and that. They're not going to do that. They're not. putting the herbs and all that stuff, it's not gonna do anything. Okay. If anything, it's gonna benefit you because now you're able to stick to your nutrition protocol even better, which is fucking important. Because you can't stick to it, there's no point of trying it. All right. Sustainability is key. That's going to determine your success. Okay. The second thing here, and this is for some of those people that are experimental and that kind of have a little bit more time on their hands to try new things. This one's called using cookbooks. Okay. Using cookbooks that teach you how to eat healthier. So there's so many cookbooks out there that like, and I'm not talking about actually being a fucking chef and like doing this and doing that with these seasonings and measuring. Like, no, I'm talking about like those little hacks, like those protein cookbooks, where you can make ice creams, where you can make pancakes, where you can make, quick breakfast items, things that are very simple that you can consume on a daily basis that can sort of switch it up and give you a little bit more variety out of the things that you already have. So you can, create more sustainability. Like you can eat the same things essentially in different ways. And that sort of keeps the experience fresh, if that makes sense. Right. So utilizing cookbooks, I think is like personally very valuable. You don't have to be like a top level fucking 5-star Michelin chef. You just got to have a little bit of curiosity, and be willing to fuck up a little bit. But ultimately, diversifying the same foods that you're already eating, either with different seasonings or just different preparation methods, like for protein powders, as I mentioned with the pancakes and the ice creams. There's so many out there that you could grab today, even free ebooks, free cookbooks for that matter. And I'm thinking I might even want to do one just to keep it simple and like refer to it every time I bring this up because it's just a topic that will never die. All right, that's the second thing, people. The third thing I want to talk about right now is to literally, and again, this is a little bit confusing if you don't have a coach or you don't know where you sort of stand with your own physical fitness, but don't completely X off the idea of giving yourself a cheat meal. And this is I'm really hesitant to bring this one up because I feel like a lot of people don't know when to give themselves a cheat meal and they don't know what a cheat meal is. Actually, they call it a cheat meal, but it's actually a cheat day where they go out and eat a whole bunch of junk just because they don't have a reason. They just, hey, today I just decided it's gonna be cheat day because I'm craving shit, which is not the way that it should be. I would just, as a personal recommendation, if you don't have a coach, for every 10 pounds you burn, get yourself a cheat meal, not a cheat day, a cheat meal. So for every 10 pounds you burn, if your goal is to burn fat, and this is just a rule of thumb here for those of you that don't know how to respond or at least don't record your body's progress in a way where you can actually anticipate certain things happening, with the we'll say like the perspective or the mindset of a coach. Every 10 pounds you burn, go out for a dinner. Okay, keep it that simple. 10 pounds, right? Just simple, but you got to earn it, right? And a cheat meal is a cheat meal. You still have all the other foods that you're supposed to eat in the day, hit your macro caloric requirements, but you spare one meal, you take one meal out to replace it with something that you're going to go grab either in takeout or when you go to the restaurant. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So if you don't have a coach and you want to start implementing cheat meals, assuming you're already eating healthy, you're going to replace say one out of the 4 meals or 5 meals, however many meals you eat a day, you're going to replace one meal and that one meal is going to be your cheat meal. You're not going to go out and eat pizza for breakfast, burgers for lunch, and then fucking cereal and all this shit for like, nah. Eat the same way you're eating, but swap one meal out for, a pizza or swap one meal out for the burger. All right. So again, every 10 pounds. Okay. Last but not least, this one I really want to drive into your head, guys and girls. This is about control, not elimination. Okay. It's about controlling the cravings, not eliminating them, because as I already mentioned, you cannot eliminate the craving. And anything that you have to do where you've got to exclude something you actually like doing, like eating, pizza and burgers and junk food forever. It's as I said, not sustainable. Like you can't do that forever. At least you're not willing to. And even if you're saying, behind the mic as you're listening to this and you're nodding your head, you're like, no, I can, quit pizza forever and burgers forever. I'm fucking sick and tired. I put 30, 50 pounds of body fat on my body and I'm just sick and tired of that greasy food and shit. Well, cool. Give it a year, give it 4 months, give it 3 months, give it 2 weeks, give it 5 years, whatever it is, however long it's going to take. You're a human being. And one day you're just going to smell pizza and fucking want it again. Right. And the whole thing is not to never have it again. We want your progress, your success should be linear and for as long as possible. Right. So, and when I say linear, I'm not talking about just like in one direction. Like there's ebbs and flows. It goes up and down. But what I'm saying is you should have like one trajectory, like you're headed to that direction. No matter how slow or fast, you're headed to that direction. And sometimes the things that'll slow you down will be like missed gym sessions, or sometimes the things that'll slow you down would be giving into your cravings, your junk food cravings, and things of that sort, right? And regardless, you're coming down, going up, going down, going up. Like your weight's gonna flow, but you're headed towards that one goal, right? Whether it's losing 5 pounds, 15, 25, right? Having that goal in mind and doing everything that you can to just make it consistent and sustainable enough so that you get there anyway is the best, as opposed to just being like super militant, super sharp, and like just not giving yourself the option to, I guess, be a human and give into clean food. So, or sorry, give into junk food. So, with that, there's the 80/20 rule that I always tell all of my clients, and I actually enforce this myself. 80% of the time, I'm eating like fucking super clean. Everything is like cooked and like again, this isn't when I'm in my off season. When I'm competing, it's way different. I'm a professional bodybuilder, so I'm actually expected to go 110%, but that's only for a specific time period. But for most people and for my clients, the 80/20 rule stands strong. 80% of the time you eat clean, 20% of the time, you can fill in your macros or you can fill in your calories with something that isn't traditionally healthy. Like we could talk about processed foods a little bit, snacks, things of that sort. If we utilize them correctly, like, having the pre-workout Rice Krispies and Pop Tarts before, like literally before the workout to get the insulin spiked up and, get your carbs in there so you can get a juicy pump, all that stuff for the guys and girls. Um, those are sort of, that's what I mean, right? You can still utilize quote unquote junk foods on a regular basis if, you know, you're applying them where they need to be applied. Like, for example, the carbs that I just mentioned with Rice Krispies and Pop Tarts, you can definitely get away with that and actually allow it to benefit you more than it would have if you were to not utilize it in a way where it made your performance a little bit more optimal. Okay, so those are the few tips that I wanted to give to you guys and girls today. Now it's time for y'all to take action. All right, so if you like this episode, share it out with a friend. I hope I was able to deliver a valuable experience to you today. Thank you so much for your precious time and attention, people. You know it's good. If you want to lose 25 pounds and become a natural nomad yourself, hit me up and I'll see if you'll be a good fit. All right. P.S. I will not be monetizing this podcast because I respect your time. There won't be any ads on it. All right. Don't forget to screenshot and share this podcast out to anybody that you know will be interested into it. Like, please do that. That will really, really, really fucking help me. And I couldn't thank you enough if you're already doing that. All right. Let's embrace your inner meathead together. All right. You know what's happening. See some of you guys in there on the live stream. Cool. It's been nice chatting. Hope you like what today's topic was about. Matt Butale is signing out. Boom. All right. Podcast is recorded. Now I was just peeking over here and seeing y'all comments here so we can break it down. Let's see. So I got some questions here. Terrence says cheat meals are cool though, right? Yes, I did explain that. I'm not sure if you're still here, Terrence, but yes, you can factor in cheat meals if you're doing it responsibly. I would always recommend the assistance of a coach though, because it's something that you should be incorporating responsibly. Like, you shouldn't just because I'm craving food get a cheat meal type of thing. Like, there has to be metrics. Like, your body has to be responding in a certain way for a certain period of time, and then you respond by giving yourself the cheat meal. And mainly, as I said, it's just for the mental, just so that you can actually sustain the progress that you're making over a longer period of time. Because again, like it's not like you're never going to eat junk food again. The craving is going to get stronger, so you might as well balance it out, incorporate it instead of deleting it. Again, it's about control, not elimination, right? So I like that you said that there. Let's Russia says, what if you just burn the calories you eat? See, that's a perfect world, buddy. That's a perfect world. So, like, let me tell you this real quick. And this is why I think it's valuable to have a coach if you struggle with balancing clean eating and junk food, because you could burn the calories that you eat. But when you're meal prepping, right? When you meal prep, you know how many calories you're going to be intaking roughly. You know how much, how many grams of carbs, proteins, and fats. You know your macros, your calories, all that stuff. Cool. And now your caloric expenditure. So you go to the gym, you have this workout routine, 3 to 4 days a week you're training. Awesome. Okay, so now let's say you factor in a cheat meal every day or some shit, or even a cheat meal randomly. I'm pretty sure that you do not know the 100% entire macros of that cheat meal. You don't know the amount of carbs that are in that pizza. You don't know the amount of fat that's in the burger. Like, you don't know. right? Typically, coaches know, and again, it varies even per restaurant and the toppings you get on the things that you have, right? So, what if you could just burn the calories you eat? So, if you just burn the calories that you ate in your meal prep, that's cool. You're likely in a caloric deficit and you're losing weight, and it's fucking awesome. Like the weight's coming off, right? But the moment you start to factor in junk food, now all those variables when it comes to your nutrition side of things, like the calories that you're consuming, they aren't constant. They're not consistent. So even though you're burning the same amount of calories, because you're putting in a higher amount of calories, you're not going to get the same results. And that's if you're constantly eating junk food. Does that make sense? So if you had a coach in your corner and say you wanted to eat junk food every now and again, your coach would be in control of giving you those cheat meals based off of your body's response to what you're currently eating and how you're currently training, your current caloric expenditure and the weight that's being dropped weekly, right? Does that make sense? I hope that I didn't overcomplicate that. I really try to simplify that, bro. Jay Two Fly says, bro, I need a diet plan. This is my downfall. I have no diet. Dude, hit me the fuck up. Actually, I'll just send you a message really quickly so I don't forget. And we can talk about that. We can talk about that real quick. But I appreciate you for actually reaching out, honestly, man. You know what's up, bro? All right, just sent you a message. That's good. All right. So, hey, Andre Stop. He says realistic goals. Absolutely, we got to keep it sustainable. You know what's happening. I'm not toxic. What's up? Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Uh, all right. What the fuck? All right, JBC Physique. What's happening, people? I see y'all. Shelby. Okay, I don't think we got any more questions here. Yo, AB, I appreciate the follow. Appreciate the follow, dude. Jeff. Tyson says, my problem this past weekend was the alcohol and the bad food that allows a night out. Not stressing, just stick to it and move on. Again, so I'm not worried at like the least bit at all because you're very responsible when it comes to your actual training and nutrition protocol. So any, we'll say bumps, and they're not really bumps, or obstacles that we have to ever endure are very short. Like you're on a bender for 3 days, 2 days usually, and then that's fine, right? So, and that's if it does happen, right? So it's fine. You know what I mean? Just as I said last time, the next time you do go out and that does happen, swap out 1 to 2 meals like that you would normally be having in your meal protocol. Like don't eat those things, and then enjoy the rest of your junk food. And that's specifically for you, not anybody else, but specifically for you, because I noticed that when we still do that, you still get the progress while being able to eat the junk food and all that crap. And like you'd still come in hot in the week, looking good, the weight's still coming down, right? So between us, that's what you need to be doing. And again, this is very case specific to you because you are my client, Tyson. Appreciate you, dog. People, what's happening? Jay says my mind is messed up. Which trainer course is best, Ace or Nazim? Help me out. Which have you done? So it depends on what you want to do. If you want to be training people in person, you could take any of those two or the ISSA. But if you want to be training people online, I think your best bet would actually be looking into like a little bit more of kinesiology and like anatomy, the way the body works, as opposed to like only biomechanical range of motion with training courses that they do offer. And also having experience, this is kind of backwards, but having experience is what's going to help you, bro. When I say experience, I mean your own experience and experience with working with others. So just if you have family members or friends that want to lose some weight, just offer them for free just to like coach them so you can start to learn how the body works and different bodies respond. And then you can collect your knowledge from that as well as looking into other science courses. And that'll help you out, bro. All right. Yusuf, what's good? I appreciate it. What's happening? I see y'all on TikTok there. I'll get to y'all in a second. What's the best way to lose body fat and gain muscle? So you can do it at the same time. Long story short, I'm just going to summarize it. Caloric deficit, a slight caloric deficit, just a slight caloric deficit will allow you to burn fat because you're in a deficit. And because it's so slight, you can still build muscle by keeping your protein intake adequate, right? Which is 1 or more than 1 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So I'd recommend that. And if you do have any other questions, bro, shoot me a message. I'd be more than down to actually break it down with you one-on-one because I won't be on the air too long. I'm only going to be here for an extra 2 minutes. Then I'm going to fly out. TikTok, what's happening? Appreciate the follow, Melanin, sweetheart. It's good. I appreciate you. Hey, what's up? 403 VK, where are you from? From Canada, bro. Best and worst cities in I don't play Skyrim. Sorry, bro. I don't know. I don't know. Don't do that. I don't. Don't do that. Brittany, what's happening? Of course he showed up. Love it, yo. What's happening? Okay. So yeah, like we're pretty much good for time here. And I'm gonna fly out. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. We got like 60 seconds left. I'll be off at 12:55 here. And then I got a family day dinner. Yeah, it's this African food, man. Dre, what's happening? Timmy, what's good? Dre says, how do I fuck you for training sessions? I know you're pulling my legs, bro. I don't do in-person training anymore, at least. I know you're fucking with me. Jay says, how much sleep you recommend for a person training 2 times a day? So, dude, if you're training hard even once a day, I would love for you to get 7 to 8 hours. But with your schedule, understanding how busy you can be, especially if you work multiple jobs too, it may not be something as you should not have to train or want to train 2 times a day. Even if you're like a bodybuilder, if you have no time to sleep. If you have time to sleep, you can train 2 times a day. If you really are getting quality rest, not just 8 hours, but like an actual good amount of REM sleep, then you're good. You know what I mean? Like if you can wake up and you feel energized, like always, consistently, and your nutrition's on, and you have the liberty to constantly get like a good amount of sleep every night, you're good. But if you are struggling with sleep, training 2 times a day is just not. It's just not it. It's not it. You're not going to reap the gains that you think you are, and you're going to bring yourself a lot more close to getting injured than you think. Well, go on, Timmy. You know what's good. Marco's out here. Says me and Kirby just pull up to the gym. Say a word. What are you guys hitting today? You guys gonna smash some legs? I don't know. Should I meet you guys there? What are you guys gonna do? All right, though. All right, I'm gonna screw off because it's a little bit over time here, and I've got some work to do. All right, but I appreciate each and every single one of y'all. We will be back again tomorrow with another live stream and podcast episode. Thank you so much for your time today. Yes, he's got legs. Of course, he's got legs. I converted him. You should me talk? No, I won't talk about that, bro. But I appreciate you. Don't know. You already know, man. Peace and love. We out.